The time is 10 a.m. and this is WKYT Mid-Morning. The streets in Charlotte, North Carolina are quiet this morning after angry protests over the fatal police shooting of a black man there.
New details in the murder case of a pregnant woman. Find out who Lexington police want to talk to.
And the First Lady gets some laughs at the president's expense. Hear her impression of the commander-in-chief.
This is WKYT Mid-Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in as summertime is chasing us right to the last very day here.
It really does seem to be, yes.
I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. So even though it changes on the calendar, the temperatures, they need to get with it, get with the program.
Behind, but not by far. And let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. We're already in the 70s. We started off in the upper 50s, lower 60s. And here we are just after 10 a.m. It's rising very rapidly. We're there in the low to mid 70s. It still doesn't feel all that bad. That sunshine right there on our backs, 87 by the afternoon, which looks pretty good. Now, here's the deal. 87 is warm for this time of year. There's no doubt about it. It's about 10 degrees above average. However, there are changes for the weekend, and I'm going to show you when that cooler air rushes on in because it is coming. I'll have that coming up in just about 10 minutes.
And we'll see you then. In the news, city officials in Charlotte are calling for calm this morning after the fatal police shooting of a black man sparked violent protests overnight that left at least 12 officers injured.
Relatives of Keith Lamont Scott say he was shot by officers while reading a book inside his car. But police maintain Scott had a gun. Hannah Daniels has the latest.
Protesters in Charlotte brought traffic along this interstate to a standstill overnight. Some took items from a truck and set them on fire. The scene played out hours after police fired tear gas to disperse the crowd. Some demonstrators took turns hurling water bottles, rocks, and damaging countless squad cars.
I'm fed up. Standing up.
The chaos erupted hours after Keith Lamont Scott was shot and killed by police at this apartment complex yesterday afternoon. Officers were there looking for a suspect with an outstanding warrant when they encountered the 43-year-old getting out of his car. He was not the man they were looking for.
As they engage him, he is armed with a handgun that we found on scene as well. Makes some imminent threat to them, and because of that, at least one of our officers fired.
This distraught woman, who says she's the victim's daughter, live streamed the aftermath on Facebook for more than an hour. She shared a different view of what happened.
He in the damn car reading a book. Y'all running for him because he black.
The victim's sister also spoke out.
They jumped out their truck. They said, hands up. He got a gun. He got a gun. Pow, 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 pow.
The officer involved has been identified as Brentley Vinson, an African-American on the force since 2014. Authorities say he's been placed on administrative leave. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Authorities say they're interviewing witnesses as part of their investigation.
Police have released new details about the murder of a pregnant Lexington woman. Police say Mariah Coleman was shot while walking her dog nearly 2 weeks ago on Winburn Drive. Coleman and her unborn baby later died at the hospital. Investigators now say that Coleman was an innocent bystander and that she was hit in the back by a stray bullet. Witnesses reported seeing a young black man with dreadlocks and a cast on his arm running from the scene moments after the shooting. Police also say they found a gun near the scene. So far, police have not named any suspects in the case, but they do think that multiple people were involved.
A Boyle County man was arrested in Lexington accused of abusing a 5-year-old child. Police say Bradley Moore was left in charge of the child while the child's mother went to work overnight. When she came home, police say Moore was gone. Then she noticed her son was hurt. Police say Moore punched the child in the face many times and caused other injuries. Police are looking for the driver who crashed into a Lexington officer's cruiser. Police say that officer went to Dairy Queen on New Circle Road near Russell Cave to check out an alarm. They say a car with a flat tire pulled into the parking lot. The officer went to check on that driver when police say the car sped out of the parking lot, hitting the cruiser. Police later found the car abandoned and realized it was stolen 4 days ago.
A hoverboard is being blamed for sparking a house fire in northern Kentucky. Police there say that people inside the home in Florence heard a clicking noise. They found the hoverboard sparking. They picked it up and it exploded, starting a fire in the front of the home. There was some smoke damage inside, but nobody was hurt.
A retired law officer faces sex abuse charges in Woodford County. Versailles police arrested 76-year-old Donald Drury. According to his arrest citation, Drury is a retired Kentucky vehicle enforcement officer. He's accused of touching himself inappropriately in front of a 14-year-old boy. Drury is also accused of recording a sex act with a 15-year-old on his phone.
Two top aides to Ron Paul's 2012 presidential campaign have avoided prison time after being convicted of conspiring to cover up campaign payments. Former campaign chairman Jesse Benton and manager John Tate were sentenced to 2 years probation and 6 months of home confinement. A third defendant is being sentenced today. All three men argue they broke no laws when they paid a former senator $73,000 just days before the 2012 Iowa caucuses. Prosecutors say hiding the payment is what is illegal about it all. Well, the state of Kentucky is wanting to get back tens of thousands of dollars spent to care for dozens of abandoned horses.
This after the Department of Agriculture, along with Mercer County Fiscal Court, sued Charles and Maria Burrell. The Ag Department says it has spent more than $20,000 on the 43 horses that were found abandoned in June on a farm leased by the Burrells. The suit would also clear the way for the horses to be sold or adopted. The Burrells each face 43 charges of animal cruelty.
A man accused of trying to scam Lexington businesses out of money is now in jail. Police have arrested Kenneth Roth on theft charges unrelated to the scam. They say he recently went to several businesses in town and told them that he was collecting money for some charities, including United Way of the Bluegrass. Investigators tell us Roth was arrested last night after using another person's credit card at a hotel.
While it still feels like summer, now's the time to think about getting a flu shot. You can get one starting today at the Lexington Fayette County Health Department. Flu shots are $30, or you can get a free flu shot next month. The annual event will be on October 20th at Consolidated Baptist Church on Russell Cave Road and at Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road.
Well, federal court papers give a chilling glimpse into what authorities say motivated the man accused of last weekend's bombings in New York and New Jersey. Those documents say that 2 years ago, the FBI looked into Ahmad Rahami, but came up with nothing tying him to terrorism. Authorities say the Afghan-born U.S. citizen bought bomb ingredients on eBay and recorded a video of himself igniting a blast in a backyard. Well, officials from 21 states, now including Kentucky, are suing the U.S. Department of Labor over a new rule that would make more higher-earning workers eligible for overtime pay. That measure would repeal the so-called white-collar exemption and more than double the salary threshold under which employers must pay overtime to their workers. The new regulation is set to take effect on December 1st. Well, Samsung is going to have 500,000 replacement Galaxy Note phones in stores today.
Now that's enough to replace about half of the devices recalled for battery issues. The company will have replacements for the rest of the phones by the end of the month. So far, about 25% of Note 7 owners in the U.S. have exchanged their devices. Well, First Lady Michelle Obama made an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where she had some fun at the president's expense.
She did. The First Lady told Colbert last night that President Obama is really into gossip. But what really won over the crowd was her impression of him giving an answer.
He's like, well, no, I'm glad you asked that. Let me just answer that in 3 points. 1, and then 1A, and then 1A and B. And Sasha and I are like, oh.
The First Lady and the President now have 4 months left in the White House, and then, of course, planning what they'll be doing after that.
She did a good job with that. I'm sure the President was laughing, too.
Called him out, didn't she?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, keep it here this mid-morning. If you're eagerly awaiting the arrival of fall, this story might get you in the spirit.
We'll have details on the Great Pumpkin Race. That's coming up after Micah's weather.
There's absolutely nothing going on the next few days. That means all these festivals going on, which we have several big festivals this weekend, looks pretty good. Yeah, I'll show you that, and we'll talk more about the numbers than so much the rain. We'll have that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Pretty much the same story for today, as we'll have mostly sunny skies and temperatures there in the 80s, well above average. I do want to tell you this. We're at 76 degrees right now in Lexington. We're in 74 there in Covington. Those are typically roughly average temperatures for this time of year. During the afternoon, that's 4 to 5 p.m. So yeah, we're going to be far off from these temperatures, normal temperatures. We're just not going to have that. A lot of sunshine, a lot of warm air streaming on in, and we'll be right around 87 degrees in the forecast later on today. That's pretty much the same as where we were yesterday for everybody. We'll actually get closer to 90 degrees next couple of days. Let me take you hour by hour. Watch this forecast as we go through your day on Thursday. Now remember, Thursday is the first day of fall. And it looks pretty decent. It's not all that bad. It's just pretty warm. We're there in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. No chance of rain anytime soon. Got a lot of festivals kicking off on Friday. Big festival on Friday, the Sorghum Festival out at West Liberty. West Liberty, you guys are sitting there right around 89 to roughly 90 degrees. Big festival going on. That kicks off tomorrow is actually the Apple Festival there in Liberty. Now, Liberty, we're sitting there at roughly 90 degrees. It's going to be a pretty steamy day there for the Apple Festival, kicking off tomorrow, going throughout your weekend. The good news here is, even once we head off into your weekend, there's the big news for all these big festivals, and I know a lot of us have been sweating this time, a lot of us trying to get these festivals together. You have no problems whatsoever. It looks great. This is the time to get the families out. I know it's going to be warm. We're sitting there in the mid-90s, or mid-80s that is, and even some locations back toward the west, close to 90 degrees. You got the Marion County Country Ham Days going on there and Lebanon, and it looks pretty good. We're staying dry with temperatures right around 90 degrees, so it's going to be warm. There's no doubt about that with the clouds overhead, but it's going to be much nicer as we head towards your weekend too, because temperatures will start to drop just a bit, especially there on Sunday. You'll really feel the difference there on Sunday. Let's talk about your 7-day forecast and the breakdown of it. As I was discussing, a lot of these days, a lot of these festivals, I don't see any problems. Friday night football, we had a couple of spots last week for Friday night football have a few troubles. And there were a few trouble spots, especially across central zones, where we had just 2 or 3 storms rolling through. Most of us stay dry, but nobody has a chance of rain this Friday. So Friday night football, big festivals happening, a lot of events going on, and it's absolutely perfect weather for it.
And it's a weekend.
And it's
great.
a weekend. Yes, absolutely. So any festival going off into Sunday, if you're trying to pick a day to go, you're saying, well, I can't do all 3 days or I can't do both days. Do Sunday. Sunday will feel amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
And just jump from festival to festival. A lot going on.
Festival hopping.
Yeah.
That's good.
At that Apple Festival, they have a pie, an apple pie as big as the studio. I mean,
Really?
it's huge. Yeah.
I heard that is a
now.
big, yeah.
Micah's going to be salivating the rest of the day on that one. Oh, yeah. Well, if you're having trouble, though, getting into the fall spirit because of these summer-like temperatures, maybe this will help.
Yeah, behold, it is the Great Pumpkin Race we're going to show you here. Crews up in Wisconsin, they carve massive gourds as big as 800 pounds into sleek, seaworthy vessels there, and then they paddle them right down the Milwaukee River for charity prizes and, of course, for bragging rights. It might look a little ridiculous, but whatever floats your pumpkin. Right?
That's right. There it is.
It's a good time. It's
How
a
much fun.
A great time of the year with all these festivals really throughout America and certainly here in Kentucky.
But whoever came up with that one, very creative. Well, Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o is out with a new movie and a first look at a sci-fi thriller featuring Kentucky native Jennifer Lawrence.
Suzanne Marquez has those stories and more in your Eye on Entertainment.
We have a sneak peek at Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt's new movie, Passengers. They're on a spaceship headed for another planet, but they awake from their hibernation pods 90 years early.
We have to go back to sleep.
Passengers hits theaters in time for Christmas. Lupita Nyong'o walked the red carpet for the Hollywood premiere of Queen of Katwe. The film is based on the true story of a chess prodigy from Uganda.
Checkmate. She won.
It's an inspiring story that can become the anthem for the power of dreaming and dreaming out loud.
Also appearing at this premiere, the real-life chess champ and her mentor. Queen of Katwe opens in wide release next Friday. From Hogwarts to the United Nations, Harry Potter actress Emma Watson addressed the UN to promote gender equality. She also talked about sexual violence on college campuses.
The safety of women, minorities, and anyone who may be vulnerable is a right and not a privilege.
Watson has been serving as UN Women Goodwill Ambassador since 2014. And that's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Okay, lace up your running shoes and join in the fight against colon cancer.
Details about the Kicking Butt 5K next on WKYT.
Information about tonight's Powerball jackpot, it's $40 million. And Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million. Welcome back. It's mid-morning here on WKYT, and here in the United States, colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosis in men and women, and yet it is largely preventable and treatable through routine screenings.
A fun event, the Kicking Butt 5K, is happening here in Lexington to bring awareness to this disease. And to tell us more about it, we're joined by Dr. Thomas Knopp, a gastroenterologist, along with Patty Francis with the Colon Cancer Prevention Project. Thank you all very much for coming in today.
We appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Dr. Knopp, tell us, I mean, obviously the run is going to be fun with an important cause. Tell us why it is so important that we pay a lot of attention to this issue.
Well, it's extremely important. You know, it's like you said, it's very preventable disease and it's very common. And despite this, we're only getting about 50% of the people that are eligible for screening in for screening. So anything that we can do to raise awareness, to get more people to come into their primary care doctor and ask them questions about colon cancer screening and prevention, that's what we're going to do. So.
What is the pushback? Why do you think people don't take advantage?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question. Yeah. I think a lot of people, you know, it's a private and kind of an embarrassing area to talk about for a lot of people, but. Gosh, the second leading cause of cancer-related death in the United States for men and women, and you know, we meet patients all the time, every day that have lost a loved one or a family member or a friend to colon cancer, and might not even be aware of what screening is available for them to prevent it from happening to them or somebody else that they love. So the barriers. I think the biggest barrier, is the inconvenience of the bowel preparation and then the procedure itself. But it's easy. It really is easy, and colonoscopy can be performed once every 10 years, and that can save your life. And once we talk people, when we get the chance to sit down across from somebody and actually talk about it, they're so happy they did it when it's done.
It makes so much sense when you say you can prevent it, actually prevent it. Absolutely. Tell us about this run. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. Event festivities start at 8. The run starts at 9. We have all of our sponsors have a booth, and a couple of other healthy initiative companies have some booths out there. Kids Zone with the bouncy and bubbles and coloring. It's a great place. I always tell people, don't say, well, I'm not connected to that cause. There's no reason for me to come. 1 in 20 people will be affected by colon cancer. So someone you know or someone that is going to be affected by colon cancer in your lifetime, come out, find out about it so it's not you, so you can prevent it from being you or someone you love. There's going to be lots of people out there to talk to and find out the facts, so we'd love to have you.
Kickingbutt.org, B-U-T-T, right, is your website. People can find out more there. Thanks for coming. Should be beautiful weather for Saturday for the race. Thank you.
Good luck with it. Well, keep it right here this mid-morning.
Going to check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen next and see what's whipping up there. We'll be back in a moment.
We're glad you're along today. You're going to want to ask for a drum roll before serving up this recipe that we're going to show you that's kicking with rich flavors.
Here we go. Today at the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, it's honey garlic drumsticks.
When we think about what to make for dinner, the things that concern us the most are, is it easy to make? How much time will it take? And is it budget friendly? Well, if that sounds like you, then you're not alone. So let me share a recipe that scores well in all those categories. We start by seasoning a couple dozen chicken drumsticks with salt and pepper before roasting them off. And if you're not familiar with how budget friendly they are, let me tell you, are you ever in for a nice surprise? While they're roasting, we throw together a glaze, which is simply some honey, chopped garlic, and a couple shakes of hot pepper sauce. Now we slather the par-baked chicken with the glaze and back into the oven they go until the coating caramelizes and the skin gets crispy. See, I told you. It's cheap, easy, and it takes no time to throw together. What we end up with is the juiciest, most flavored packed chicken you've had in a long time. And if you want to try this glaze on other cuts of chicken, go ahead, be my guest. So what are you waiting for? Go online and get the recipe for our honey garlic drumsticks so you can have a new dish to add to your weeknight dinner routine. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easier, budget-friendly way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, looks good. Of course, available on our website, WKYT.com.
And we got a lot of events that can bring out the chicken. And, you know, you got the World Chicken Festival. You got all these big events. I'm just excited about it. I don't know about you, but I put it on Twitter. I was like, does anybody know of some events going on? I put a couple events, and I had about 4 or 5 tweets saying, this event, that event. You saw the weather.
It's perfect
for it.
This time of the year.
Really looks awesome. We want to thank you for joining us here at mid-morning. Don't forget, we'll have the latest coming up on WKYT News at noon.
We'll see you back here then.